August the 25th, 2026. Let's gather together, experience the goodness of God. I'm Pastor Trey Comstock. We'll begin with our scripture of the week, Romans chapter 12, verses 9 through 21. And then Pastor Emily Larson and I will talk about scripture. And more specifically, we're going to talk about these things that Paul, this world and set of human actions that Paul paints for us. This isn't some abstract ideal. These are things we could actually do. But first, a reading from Romans chapter 12, verses 9 through 21. Let love be genuine. Hate what is evil. Hold fast to what is good. Love one another with mutual affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. Do not lag in zeal. Be ardent in spirit. Serve the Lord. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in suffering. Persevere in prayer. Contribute to the needs of the saints. Extend hospitality to strangers. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse them. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Do not claim to be wiser than you are. Do not repay anyone evil for evil, but take thought for what is noble in the sight of all. If it is possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave room for the wrath of God. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. No, if your enemies are hungry, feed them. If they are thirsty, give them something to drink. For by doing this, you heap burning coals on their heads. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. This is one of those passages where you watch people who will tell you they are biblical literalists look for an out really quickly. This is similar to our conversation about we often come back to about the made up needle gate in Jerusalem. Oh no, it's the eye of the needle. It's a gate. No. It's really just Jesus is speaking. Jesus in that case is speaking hyperbolically about the spiritual travails of vast wealth. This is Paul giving instructions, and this is he is telling you. This is possible.
Right.
You can do this. In fact, you should do this.
Right. This is not abstract. This is a thing you should be doing. This is a to-do list.
This is similar to when we talk about that picture of the church in end of Acts chapter 2. Where Luke is writing, but this is where they have everything in common, and they're just gathering together and sharing and loving, and the church is growing, and it's just it's all gelling, and it's all gelling because they're living the way they should, united by the power of the Holy Spirit, and then everyone's looking around and going, oh, dude, I want to be a part of that. Let's go. Right. And Luke's point, we read this as oh, it is a golden age. Luke is writing about a golden age. Luke is writing about this very early moment where it is all just working. And the point I often make about that text is the same point I'm making here. Luke is not saying, oh my God, look at that. We're never getting back to that.
Right.
Luke is saying we did this once. Have you thought about doing this again?
Let's try to do that again. Let's try to get back to where we're not overcome by evil, but we're overcoming evil with good. Let's get to where we're, not just
focused on vengeance, not focused on winning,
right.
Seeing your enemies as people. At the core of this is don't dehumanize even your enemies.
Right.
Even your enemies are people. And if you want to feel better, and Paul gives you a little bit of an out, right? You want to just make it worse for them, go high.
Kill them with kindness, right?
Kill them with kindness. Go high. Then when they go low, then it's purely on them.
Right.
right? This is like, so much as you are able, live peaceably.
Yes.
You can't control how other people are going to respond to you. But with God's help, you can control what you do.
And how you react to whatever the situation may be. I just put the girls to bed right before we started this podcast, and we've been reading the old school Mother Goose. Have you ever read the really old school Mother Goose?
It's been a long time.
So there's some bangers in there. There's also some weird ones in there that are, cultural context does not compute.
It's just lost.
Today's kids. But there was one that stood out to me tonight because I've been thinking about Romans all week, and so it was for every evil under the sun. Do you remember the old for every
No,
evil?
I do not.
So it's for every evil under the sun, there is a remedy or there is none. If there be one, seek till you find it. If there be none, never mind it. Let it go.
Let it go.
Right? Don't seek vengeance. Don't try to get back. Like some things you just have to let go. But also, if there's a remedy, try to remedy it, right? Try to live peaceably with everyone. Try to figure it out. Mother Goose, taking a page out of Paul's writings here.
Well, it is this thing that we culturally believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about this before in our just kind of warm-up conversation and bring it into our podcast conversation. I sometimes think that this has just been our year of cultural criticism. Like I don't know, like we are not truly like cultural critics. We are
Right.
pastors, we are preachers, we are our main goal is not actually to criticize culture. Our main goal is to teach the word of God, to invite people into relationship with God and relationship to one another, to try and give a perspective on God's word that folks might find helpful, might find maybe inspiring, will probably find challenging. That's our main goal.
Right.
But I feel like we've been on our year of cultural criticism. And and me pulling this text is the latest edition of that. I struggle a lot with the just absolute interpersonal violence that is so much of ambient culture.
Mm-hmm.
So much of ambient culture, and it is reflected in a lot of aspects of life. It is reflected in our body politic. It is reflected in the ways that we interact online.
Mm-hmm.
There is this just like, we are in this age of like insiders and outsiders. You're either with me or you're not.
Right.
You're either my kind of person or I'm gonna absolutely make you a non-person. I'm going to other you. I'm going to whatever. And we just like, so much of us have to deal with just so much ambient violence.
Mm-hmm.
I help run a PTA, and we buy school supplies for everybody in the school. And for our families internally, you pay, well, hopefully you pay, but even actually, side note, even if you don't, we are not like Santa Claus. We do not have a list. We do not check it twice. We do not find out who gets school supplies or not. We bulk buy everything and then just deliver it to the classroom. And so if you paid in, great. If you didn't pay in, that's between you and your God.
Yeah.
And might end up limiting how many school supplies we can buy. But like, because like this was external to our community, but some people were hearing about how we did school supplies and then were attacking us on like parent Facebook groups about like, they don't ever give us a list and it's not this and there's no transparency. I'm like, first of all, is there, but like, and I'm like, we're we're taking heat. And it was not like this massive pushback, but it was this reminder of like, we're a volunteer PTA.
Right.
Ain't none of us getting, I just now have this other new part-time job. And we work really, we even like lowered price by 30%, because we thought, well, we have enough in reserve and we want to do right by. So for $45, your kid gets everything but a backpack and a water bottle.
Nice.
Right? Like that is every marker, every glue stick, every construction paper, tissues, all of that.
Right.
And then we give your teachers whatever brand they asked for. And so
Nice.
It's all name brand markers and name brand markers and name brand crayons. Like everyone's getting the Corolla stuff, man.
Nice. Good old Crayolas. None of that rose art wax stuff.
No, it's not. It's not those awful rose art. Like it's the like and it's the Expo markers. It's not the Xpex markers. Like it's the real stuff, right? And we're doing it for $45. And you're right. You don't get a school supply list. Instead, you just hand other parents through an actual registered nonprofit. You're not actually handing me money. You're giving money to, Durham PTA, a registered 501c3.
It's not like you're embezzling the Ticonderoga pencils, right?
No, we have to submit like financial reporting to the body of the PTA. We have to submit financial reporting to Texas PTA. We're like a real organization with like real financial accountability standards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And like, we're catching heat on the internet for how we are trying to help our family. Now, again, I want to be very clear. This call was not coming from inside the house. This was not coming from members of the beautiful Durham community. They are lovely. For all of you who are, none of you are listening, but for all of you who are listening, thank you to those who did contribute. If you have not contributed yet, please do. I ran the math and it is certainly nowhere near 100% yet. And so that just means, anyways, and we even figured out how to like buy nap mats for the pre-K kids, which is thing we hadn't done previous years. Like, we're working really hard. Also, we're a bunch of, even if you don't like this method, like, why are we catching strays on the internet? Because you disagree philosophically with how we're trying to buy school supplies for children.
Because people don't think it's actually possible to do these sorts of things altruistically. When in actuality, it is. This is a goal that can be achieved. This is a thing that you can be. You can bless those who persecute you, bless and do not curse them. You can, do all of these things that are listed here. Let love be genuine. Hate what is evil. Hold fast to what is good. All of these things are possible.
But it takes two things. It takes Jesus. It takes a relationship with, this is facilitated by a relationship with God. And then part of what the fruit of a relationship with God is, you see everyone as people.
Yes.
You see the people you agree with and the people you disagree with, the people you're face to face with, and the internet people, that they're all people.
Yes.
In the great words of the Muppet movie, frog is people, bear is people, pig is people, people is people.
People is people. That all are people and that all are treated well and equally and all of the above.
And that we, and that we can actually do this. You can look at like a thing you dislike on the internet, and you do not have to personally attack or call into question the morality of that person. And again, I'm not saying there are never places to do that.
Right.
I go and yell at Mike Miles, the superintendent of HISD. I go and yell at him every month.
Yeah.
Every month I make my monthly pilgrimage. 10 months a year. I go to, no, excuse me, 11 months because there was in June. 11. I will probably go for this, like, I will go like 11 times across the, 11 times a year. I'm going to make my monthly trip to Hattie Mae White, the headquarters, and the boardroom. And I do sometimes call into question his first principles, but that he is two things. One, he is a public figure. Two, were I to run into him on the street, that would be fine. Three,
Mhm.
if he had fallen over and broken his leg and needed help, we would help him, right? Like,
Right.
you
You can
can,
still live peaceably with someone while not agreeing to their actions.
right, and you can challenge someone, and like you can have debate, but like all of that has to start with a recognition of the inherent humanity. I do
Yes.
not like Mike Miles. I do not like him. This is not news, right? But I've had to, some of this, by the way, if you want to become a better debater, it really does help to understand your opponent,
Mhm.
understand them as a human. And the things I'll say about F. Mike Miles is he has given his life for public service.
Mhm.
Like him, lump him, and I do not like him. I would rather lump him. Was an Army Ranger. He went from that to doing the dangerous kind of diplomatic work during the towards the tail end of the Cold War.
Mhm.
He then got involved in the field of education. He is a reasonably wealthy man that for some reason still runs school districts. And so we can attempt to psychologize that, but you do have to say, look, this dude has given his life in public service. I do not
Right.
like some of the ways he is currently serving the public. I would actually argue what he is doing is not serving the public, but I believe that he thinks he's serving the public.
Right. And you can live peaceably with him whilst also disagreeing with his actions, and that's
Yes.
okay.
And and
Um,
and, and publicly challenging, right? Like this
mhm.
isn't but also like don't attack like random community members because you don't like how we're running the school supply program for a school you don't go to.
Right,
You don't even
right.
go here.
Okay, mean girls. She doesn't even go here.
But they don't, they literally
They
don't.
literally, yeah, they
And
actually don't go there, and they're
we're
still
we're catching strays on the internet. And I this is where I think the internet, like back to our year of cultural criticism, like
Mhm.
this is where the internet is a lot of this, because the internet is inherently, it's like inherently not face to face, inherently like
Right.
there is something about the medium of digital communication,
Mhm.
particularly text based digital communication, that is dehumanizing.
Right, that people will say or do things via the internet that they would not do in person or to someone's face.
and and that's been going on for as long as there has been an internet.
Mhm.
And so probably we've talked about this in the show before. I don't know that I've talked about it at St. Stephen's in a sermon yet. And so probably the way this sermon opens is I'm going to start reading some of the earliest really vitriolic internet arguments that go back to the ARPANET.
Oh,
They
yeah?
go back to when this thing that is now the internet was this Cold War research project
Mhm.
by what is it? What is ARPA? It's like it's what turns into DARPA, but it is like the Defense Department's research arm.
Yeah.
They are trying to build resilient communications networks. And that's what the internet is. It's all this distributed nodes. And so
Right,
if a nuclear bomb gets dropped on one set of nodes, the communications infrastructure doesn't fail. And
right,
so it's this really cool thing. And in the early days of the ARPANET, it was largely like defense contractors and military things, and universities that are doing defense research. And those are the people that the whole internet isn't really an internet yet don't at me, I know, but like the ARPANET, this big nationwide network
Mhm.
of interconnected computers is defense contractors, university researchers, military people. That's the whole
Right.
thing. And so this is 60s, 70s. Like this is long before like, going onto forums and getting flamed or,
Right.
posting racist memes on the artist formerly known as Twitter,
Mhm.
or going on an internet tirade against people buying school supplies for children. It's just salty about this. It's so just dumb. But in that version of the internet, they were flaming each other. They were being extremely rude to each other. They were like, as soon as they had this kind of disintermediated,
Mhm.
uh, this intermediated like uh digital communication where that person is just a thing on a screen, they immediately started attacking each other.
Right, the gloves can come off because you're not actually it doesn't look like a face when you're punching at it.
Doesn't look like a
Mhm.
face. And
Yeah.
so you just like, but it happened like this. What, like the thing about our modern moment is about scale. But there is something about this medium that, and I guess the thing that I throw out, or that I posit rather, is because we've gotten so used to treating each other that way on the internet. It's just now that's the thing that's leaching, because so much
It's just the
communications,
norm now.
it like, because it became normal online, now it's just leaching out more broadly. Like,
Yes.
because also you can also go viral by being really mean to people. And so now, like, I
Yeah.
suspect it is worse to be a service worker or a waiter, or a waitress, or the president of a PTA, or
Mhm.
whatever, because like we are losing we are losing sight of because of so much of our interaction is online. We're losing sight of people's humanity there, and that's
Right.
leaching into we're losing sight of people's humanity at all. And so then this sounds like massively aspirational, and Paul does not
Mhm.
mean for it to be actually absolutely aspirational. He means this to be practical life advice that you
Literal.
can do.
Yes. Yes, you can, and you can because clearly, Mr. Rogers existed, right?
Right.
Like, there's Dolly Parton, God
Dolly
rest her
Parton
soul.
existed. Yeah,
God
yes.
rest her soul,
Yes,
yes,
yes. Yes.
but there are people who have aspired to this, and I think a huge part of that when we think of those types of people who are like, "Oh, yeah, this person actually did well in the world and was kind even when the world wasn't kind to them in their fame and fortune or whatever," a lot of that came because they didn't lose their roots. They
Right.
stayed humble, they stayed, there was this dose of humility with them that allowed them to still see the other person as a person, to recognize personhood in the people that even the people they didn't like, right? Um, a lot of forgiveness, a lot of I imagine a lot of grace given over their careers with fame and fortune, particularly with Dolly Parton. I think of her and her kindness and her generosity and the legacy that she has left through her imagination library, specifically for low income, specifically remembering her roots
Yeah,
as
as a dirt poor kid in
mm,
Appalachia, right?
mhm.
You know,
Her dad paid the doctor who delivered her with a sack of cornmeal.
uh-huh.
Like, she tells the story, or she used to tell the story of, like, her roots and where she came from, and then gave back to communities in such a generous way because of that. Um, but always put kindness and love out into the world because of that. So that humility and that recognizing the other person as person, no matter if they agreed with her or not, whether they were on the same side of the political line or whatever the case may be. So this isn't just an aspirational list. This can be done. It
Right.
has
I
been
mean,
done.
like, when we can
Um,
I think we can think of a maybe all too short list, but a real list of
mhm.
the like prominent people. And I'm, it's me. And so I tend to go to civil rights leaders like really
Yes.
quickly. But you think about folks like John Lewis,
Yes.
who, gets his face bashed in on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, goes on to stay loving and having an incredible career in Congress, right? Like
Right.
you can stay grounded in the reality of the humanity of even the person on the other side of something. And that, again,
Right.
that doesn't mean we don't fight for a better world, but part of fighting for the better world is is taking the stand for the inherent humanity of all.
Mm-hmm.
Part
Mm-hmm.
of fighting for that, I think what I see in folks like Dolly Parton, like
Yes.
Fred Rogers,
Yes.
like John Lewis,
Like Desmond Tutu, like all of
Desmond,
the
yes.
yes. Mm-hmm.
What makes the Truth and Reconciliation Commission work is because it is, okay, you did horrific wrong. You need to confess. But in that process, we are giving you the opportunity to claw back a piece of your own humanity.
Yes.
As we go through a process that can restore humanity rather than just you degraded my humanity, so I will degrade your humanity, so then you will degrade my humanity, and it's just a race to the bottom.
Right. We used that phrase earlier of, heaping coals on their head. We talked about killing them with kindness, but you're not really doing that. You're not showing kindness to hurt the other person. You're doing that to kill the unkind nature in that action, right? In that other. It's not that you are attempting to demean the other person by being higher than they are, by being better than they are. It is showing kindness because that is the right thing to do. And then that encourages the death of the poor actions or the evil in the world, right?
I mean, it's another way to take a stand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you hope that by taking for a stand for good will be met with good.
Yes.
But when good is met with bad, you are still demonstrating to a world that wonders sometimes, oh, this good is possible.
Yes.
And so you you help construct a world that shows that even in the presence of bad,
yes,
even in the midst of someone who is choosing to go low,
right,
you are demonstrating through God working in you, but you are demonstrating, oh, to yourself and others, this other world is possible.
Yes, that goodness is still possible. That there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for.
Right. I mean, actually, yes.
Yes.
This is what there's this strange thing where all of these like giant military corporations are adopting the names of things from Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there's this company owned by this fascinating weirdo named Peter Thiel. It's called Palantir. Those are the seeing stones that are bad.
Right.
Palantir, they're bad.
Originally meant to be communication devices, but became a bad thing. Yes.
Became a bad thing. It's this like surveillance AI company. I'm not doing it justice, but it's essentially a surveillance AI company. They've named themselves Palantir. Palmer Luckey, he helped build the Oculus Rift VR headsets. He has a killer drone company called Anduril.
Interesting.
Which is the sword from Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all of these they like this image of Lord of the Rings, and I love look, I'll be honest, I too fast forward through Sam and Frodo in Two Towers. It's just a lot. And not much happens. And quite frankly, the Battle of Helm's Deep in my psyche is capital I important.
Right.
But I'm part of the problem because that's not what Tolkien wants you to know. What Tolkien
Right.
wants you to know is what you just said. That
Mhm.
actually, who really matters in Lord of the Rings?
Mhm.
It is the ordinary goodness of little people.
Yep.
And they are made
They're
and Tolkien
physically little in
and
Tolkien,
again,
but yes.
Tolkien will tell you it's not an allegory. He hates allegories. There's this big
an
conflict between him and C.S. Lewis, that C.S. Lewis's stuff is too allegorical, and like Tolkien hates the simplicity of allegory. And again, they were friends, but like they had their artistic differences, and so Tolkien did not. This scholar, when I was in college, this like scholar came and lectured at our Wesley Foundation about this. I don't begin to know why like a major like Lewis Tolkien scholar showed up to my Wesley Foundation, and that was 20 years ago, and I remember it, but here we are.
Yep.
Anyways, but like it's not an allegory. This
Right.
is important. It's not an allegory. But there is also a message to it.
Mhm.
And it is about the power of ordinary goodness, even
Yes.
in the face of a world that looks like it's being given over to absolute evil.
Yes.
Turns out, although it is boring sometimes, and again, I love these things. These are my favorite books. I love them.
Uh-huh.
And I'll admit, I think the Battle of Helm's Deep and really, you know, the big politics and the grand speeches by the put me on a horse, make me a rider of Rohan. Let's go.
But you watch Star Wars for the space battles too, right?
I do
Like,
actually watch Star Wars this yes.
You like the big battles and the big but it's really about, again,
Yeah,
the
both
little
of those
people.
things are actually, again, like
Right.
if I'm thinking about Return of the Jedi, sometimes I do skip all that weird interpersonal stuff between Luke, his dad, and the Emperor, which I know is the point of the film at some point, because
Right.
what I want is the cool spaceships doing fun spaceship things.
See, but I like the Ewok stepping up and the little guys coming through, and it ends up winning the battle, right? And making a difference. This is my favorite part. So I like the Sam and Frodo bromance of, but there's good in this world.
It's actually one of the most romantic, like the love between a man and his gardener is powerful.
Yes, it is.
And some of it is just the book. Actually, this is where the books do a better job. The movies they're great movies. I love them. In the books, there's a little more happens. There's a little more variety.
There's a
my
lot
favorite
more,
bit is like where they realize they've been going around in circles, and then I want to yell at the screen, "Yes, I know." It's so boring. It's not, but it is. Like, I'm not so dense. It is the point.
It is.
The point is, it's about like Tolkien is writing coming out of World War I, right? Like coming out of like this
out of the literal trenches.
Out of the literal trenches. Like they've seen just absolute like the horrors of war, this war to end all wars, this war of chemical weapon attacks and machine guns in trenches and a scale of even battlefield death that is unimaginable. It's just nothing before or since.
Right.
Like, other than like brief bits in World War II, like the Battle of Stalingrad, but like World War I, that was every battle every day. It was nothing but Stalingrads. And so coming out of that, he is doing his in the similar way that Mere Christianity is C.S. Lewis doing a theological version of that in the middle of World War II. He's
Yes.
writing Mere Christianity in the middle of World War II, trying to help folks be able to grab onto it. And he's a theologian by trade, and so he's doing it much more explicitly theologically. And Tolkien is a linguist and started out making Elvish, and out of that came Frodo.
Yep.
And out of that came an absolute romance of a man and his gardener, and it's beautiful. We could all be aspired to have a Samwise Gamgee in our lives, to be loved so completely as Frodo is loved by his gardener, right? Like, anyways,
in this beautiful allegorical, not an allegory.
It's not an allegory.
That
This
actually, you know.
It is not without theme. I mean, Tolkien even, like, writes this introduction and says, like, yeah, like, this is born out of the horrors
Yes.
of what we have seen. And so if you see things that you recognize, okay, it's not written exactly like that. None of these people are just directly the Germans.
Right.
You can make an argument that the hobbits are like a kind of like a down home the English, but sure, but like none of this is not clearly these are the Germans and these are the French, and no.
Right now.
It is reflecting on the themes of his time
and the nature of humanity that he saw.
Right, and that what is good in the world can overcome the evil that is in the world.
Yes.
And it can just be ordinary people with acts of ordinary goodness.
Yes.
And that is actually possible.
Yes. And that is what Paul is saying here, is
Right.
that is the thing you should do. Now go do that.
Go be actually
Go be
Samwise Gamgee. Go be Chewbacca from the latest trilogy, right? Good dad Chewbacca, who, what does he do? He drives Rey to her Jedi lessons.
Yep.
And doesn't end up eating them. Disappointingly befriends the porgs and doesn't eat them.
Right.
Right. like Chewbacca is the, if R2D2 is the MacGuffin, Chewbacca, at least in the latest trilogy, is the spiritual soul of it. It is just a Wookiee man who is, what happens when your whole life was built around a life debt that has now finished? What do you do?
Yep.
You could go home to Kashyyyk, of course, Kashyyyk, as we all know, which is the planet of the Wookiees.
As everyone knows.
That's an English
back
kind of
your wife.
Back to your wife and children who canonically exist.
Yep.
No, what do? You drive Rey to her Jedi lessons. He's this, be Chewbacca, be Samwise Gamgee, maybe be a little Merry and Pippin, get a little spicy. You want to kind of bumble your way into some goodness rather than just being, and you want to find your way into goodness, and apparently pipe weed, but it is like, I just, so much of ambient culture doesn't look like this, and no longer even pretends to try to be like this. You go on the internet and you can be not just a public figure, you can just be like an ordinary, again, back to the thing I'm stuck on, an ordinary group of parents just trying our best to do some good. And we're getting lit, like getting attacked. Like,
Mhm.
and again, I have it way better. You try being a woman anything on the internet and it's
Right.
400,000 times worse. The worst thing I've been called lately is the fifth Culkin brother, which we looked up. There's like a lot of Culkin brothers. And
Yep.
so I think there are 5. And so it's one of
Mhm.
those, like, that's not just like an insult. That's like someone who like had to know how many Culkin brothers, not only look at me and go like, you could be like a overweight Culkin. It is like, not only do you know that, you know there are 5. There
Yep.
are 5. I could be literally the fifth Culkin brother because there are 5. Like, and that's the worst, other than this, this PTA thing, but like,
Mhm.
so, and then, but it's escape containment. It's no longer just digital. It's now
Right.
just
Now it's just out there in the wild,
just out
in
there
the
in the
real
wild,
world, hurting people.
hurting people.
Mhm.
And so do this
Yeah.
because you can.
Yes.
We can do this thing that Paul describes. We
Yes.
can repay evil with good. And
Yes.
sometimes that just means that the person who's paying evil to us will see our good, and we'll do good. And sometimes we'll just be an opportunity to demonstrate to the world that you can be Samwise Gamgee.
Yep.
That's not like he is an aspirational fictional character,
Yes.
but you can be. Tolkien's point is you can do that.
Right. You, the little guy, can do that.
It's the little guys. It's not
It's
the
the
Palantirs and the
gardeners.
Andorils.
Right.
Especially in book 3, they're literally the sideshow.
Yep.
They're the distraction. But they plan that, right? They're literally like the whole like last epic battle, the battle, there on the plains. You got Minas Tirith, and it's the riders of Rohan are yelling death, and it's just
And for Frodo. Yep.
Frodo, but it's because
But
they
it is
are
actually.
but it's actually to form a distraction, because the real thing is a man and his gardener going to save everything.
Yep.
And they should have just gotten a ride on eagles to begin with. And that's as good a place as any to end this. If you have thoughts on the fact that the eagles could have just shown up and could have just picked up Sam and Frodo and then carried them there, and then these books would have been a lot shorter. And that would, anyways.
This debate has been had. The Eagles would not have done so. But yes.
But if they can pick them up, they couldn't have taken them. And you can say, well, they found the power to do it because of the journey that they've been on. And I'm saying that's a counterfactual you can't prove. You can't prove that that's true. That's just what happened. And so then you can very easily go, well, of course, you don't know. They could have just hitched a ride, thrown the thing into the fires of Mount Doom, done and dusted.
We're going to get so many internet debates from this.
Please, I welcome this. Fight me. The Eagles should have just carried them there.
I'm sure John Oliver has an opinion on this that we need to hear.
Yes, please. Anyways, I would much rather hear your thoughts about our ability to be a part of God's goodness in the world. You can email us at thegoodnessofgodpod@gmail.com. But if you do have thoughts on the Eagles, I welcome people who agree with me. I welcome people who disagree with me. I won't dehumanize you on the internet. This is the thing I do to our commenters all the time. To our commenters who seek to dehumanize, I always just greet them with genuine debate, and then either they give up or they don't. Anyways.
It's always interesting, though.
Yes, the goodness of God, the fifth Culkin brother. goodnessofgodpod@gmail.com. goodnessofgodpod@gmail.com. Please stop flaming PTAs about their school supplies practices. We are the Divine Provisions Co., and we need your help. Like, comment, subscribe, leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcast. Share something we made that you liked. We got tons of short form content out there that is eminently shareable. All of that helps our stuff go further, and in that way help us be more sustainable. sustainable. If you'd like to be financially involved in the work that we do, you can go to divineprovisions.co and click the donate button. You want all this stuff that we do. It shows up on the internet in a lot of places. You can follow us on Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Divine Provisions Co. And divineprovisions.co on the internet. And go in peace to love and serve the Lord. We'll see you next time.